Let's quickly dive into the Lions matchup. Some of the keys. So Browns-Lions, 1 o'clock on Sunday over at First Energy Stadium. What do they need to do to take this, being the Browns? What do they need to do to get back over 500?
Well, the one thing I will say is taking advantage of the run game. I think that the Lions, obviously they showed it last week against Pittsburgh. They really put an emphasis on running the ball. Jamal Williams, he was back in practice today with the Lions. He was having some fun in his press conference with his helmet throughout it. But, for the Lions, they're going to try to run the ball down your throat with Williams, DeAndre Swift and company. They really put an emphasis on that. And you got to put pressure, whether it be Jared Goff, who didn't practice today as well. Tim Boyle, who's been taking the first string reps, or, familiar face David Blau. If the Browns are able to take advantage of that and get after the quarterback as well as stopping the run, I think that's going to be huge. And the biggest one, and Dave, I know you talk about it every single week, but it's about forcing those turnovers, man, because, again, the Lions, a lot of times they will end up hurting themselves, but you really have to take care of the football, and you have to force those takeaways from the Lions at that point because, again, if they're able to run the ball, take away some of that clock and take away some of those possessions, I think that's going to be huge for them. I really think that this is going to go one of two ways. Either it's going to be close, where it's going to be like 20-17, or it's going to be some kind of a massive blowout where the Browns are able to kind of put this behind them. But I do think that the Browns are going to be able to get the win this week.
Yeah, the one thing I would say is this is a team they should beat up. Similar to what they did to the Chicago Bears, and that's kind of what I want to see. Because the next one is, the next one's one that you've had circled for a while. It's the Raiders Sunday night, Thanksgiving week. But getting ahead of ourselves, they need to put a beat down on the Lions. They just do.
Yeah, and especially coming off of as putrid of a game that they had against the Steelers. I know it was bad on both sides, but again, for that bad of a game that they had passing the ball, again, I was shocked looking at the stats. I didn't realize that Jared Goff got over the century mark in that game. And the fact that he didn't even throw an interception in that game as well. I think that the Browns, they have to pressure whoever's at quarterback. Doesn't really matter. The wide receivers on the outside, again, they don't really have a ton of players out there. But like you said, this is a game that the Browns should win. And throughout this season, the Browns have ended up taking care of business more times than not, especially against teams that they really should be beating at this point. And looking at the rest of the schedule, it's pretty tough opponents. So the Browns have to get this win under their belt this week.